Yeah, we'll be getting started in just a moment. Start the video here and here. Okay, we are about ready to get started here. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes for anybody who wants to come in. We are doing something different this week. We are actually going to be doing both on Zoom here. Here's Zoom, and you are Facebook Live. So we are doing a simulcast, something that I brought from my childhood that they used to say, this program is simulcast on, and they'll give a radio station. So we are going to simulcast between Zoom and Facebook Live. So let us open everything up here. Trying to do, I don't know what I just did. There we go, open that up. And we're going to put our chat. If on Facebook, if you are seeing this, I um, will not be able to see any chats. Um, I have put an event up here if you prefer to see this on Zoom where you can chat with me. Let's put our chat up here. And we'll put our participants up here. Excuse the birds in the background. That's one of the challenges I have with doing this in my living room. I'm going to kind of get situated here. So welcome everybody. Welcome. We're starting right on time at 10 o'clock. I like to be prompt with getting things started. I do not like to be late. It is part of who I am. So welcome. Want to wish everybody a happy Veterans Day. Of course, to all my brothers and sisters who have or are continuing to serve, I thank you very much. Being a veteran myself, I take a special interest, of course, in that. We do not have what we have without having our veterans. Our veterans for the entire term of this country. For as long as we've been a country, we have veterans. We've had people willing to serve, and some people who weren't willing to serve. For some parts where they were drafted, particularly. I think of like the Vietnam War or WW1, WW2. I think not really clear on the history, but so anyways, I digress. I just want to thank everybody for coming out today. I know and as well as other veterans, a lot of times there's a lot of restaurants who will allow you to get a free meal or free something or other, and I may just do that today. So I don't need to look at myself so much on Zoom. I am going to try to move my notes down here. But to get started, let us get started. Oh, this thing just keeps on. Here we go. There we go. So, happy Veterans Day, everybody. So today, got a few things. I thought I was just going to have a short list here of things, and the more I thought about it, there's just been a few things that's been going on, a few changes that we're having to make because of situations. So let's get started. Want to let everybody know we are now listed as an Airbnb experience. And what that means is, if you understand Airbnb at all, even a basal understanding, Airbnb provides a service where they hook up travelers to people who rent out their homes or spaces um, for people to have a place to stay. Generally speaking, it is much cheaper than you would get at a hotel. If you're, um, sometimes you get the whole house, sometimes you get a part of a house. Mina, my wife and I, we have been Airbnb hosts since February of this year. From the time I signed up to the time I got my first client, or first guest, I should say, was less than 12 hours. Uh, really believe in it. It's not a perfect thing. Nothing is perfect. My business is not perfect either, but they are heading in the right direction. So with that being said, they have a part of their business on their website where when people are traveling, they can actually uh, look for things to do while they're in the city that they're going to be staying in. That could be, I've seen kung fu, I've seen, cooking classes, art classes, painting classes, all kinds of items. So we uh, just recently signed up this past week and was approved. And so we are now on Airbnb. Um, and in order to get noticed, and we haven't had any takers yet, but you have to actually schedule time. So we're starting off by just doing 1 day a week, not for the whole day, for 2.5 hours, 5:30 to 8 o'clock at night on Saturdays. I recognize that uh, this is sometimes a busy day. Uh, However, we're open 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Last classes usually are by about 6:30. Earlier if it's a longer class, like for larger groups, but generally speaking by 6:30. So we have a lot of hours open. I think it's over 70 hours. So we're going to do this trial until I set it up to do it for the next 8 weeks, which brings it to January 2nd. Um, it's kind of exciting. And with this, um, we're taking small groups, up to 4 people. Um, so, if we have only one person, we still will hold the class. If we have no people, um, we can possibly open it up to, I think they can't add any people to a group, and within 2 hours of the actual time. So by 3:30, if I understood that correctly, I have to get further information on that. So um, there's actually, I think what I'm gonna do here is I can't do it on Facebook right now. Oh, let me do this and go back here to Zoom. I'm going to do a screen share. Okay, screen share. So what I'm doing on Facebook here is I brought up the screen share. I think you should be able to on Facebook, and I will, when I close out Facebook Live, I will put the link in the description or in the comments so you can see what we're looking at. So it just has a review and pay, who's coming, book for just you and your group. So it gives you a lot of information. If you're booking for a group, you can select that. So basically you block off the time. It asks you like number of guests, so on and so forth. Payment methods, how you're going to pay, gives information about the class, so on and so forth. So this is what we have. Actually, the picture that we have on here is actually one of our former students who gave us permission to use their image, and so we are. So what I'm gonna do here, go back to my, stop sharing and get back to my thing here. So now I've been trying to get us promoted on many different platforms. So the Airbnb platform was one, which we just accomplished. But about a month or so ago, I signed up and was approved on TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor is a travel site also. Mostly, cars, rental cars, hotels, things like that. But they also, like Airbnb, they also have a place where you can look for experiences. I forget if that's what they call it. And so I signed up for it and wasn't getting any traction. Wasn't getting anybody, from what I could tell, looking at the site or making reservations. Excuse me. All I was getting is a lot of emails. Oh, do this, whatever, blah blah blah. More promotional stuff. And I guess my eyes started glazing over. So when I'm looking at my emails on a daily and I see something, actually, TripAdvisor has another company, like a sub company that does the marketing part for people like us. And then there's another company, so a third company, third removed, that I see, all of the information. Well, apparently my eyes were just glazing over, and I just kind of like scanned, but I, never noticed until just the other day that I had a reservation, excuse me, for a couple, and so I'm like, okay, yeah, that's great. I initially I sent them, instructions on making the reservation through our platform, and I still have to work with them. I sent out an email yesterday. Actually, this is not on my notes, but I sent out an email because I need to get it to work between their platform and my platform, and they don't have an API or the things to make them connect. So I'm waiting to hear from them back on that. So I put them manually into my scheduling so as not to get double booking. Because I look at my platform. That's the most important one for my scheduling. And so I got that all taken care of, and then I was just kind of messing around with the platform. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. I have a customer through TripAdvisor. This is pretty neat. The nice thing about TripAdvisor is I'm getting paid more because unlike Airbnb, your Airbnb, you need to have your pricing. So whatever is listed on my website, the price, I'm sorry, that was not Airbnb, my bad. That was with Groupon. Groupon. So whatever I have my price listed on my website, that's the same price that I have before any discounts on Groupon. So I increase my prices on my website to increase the prices on Groupon. Airbnb, I don't remember there being any such stipulation. And TripAdvisor, there's no stipulation. So it's nice because people can come from out of town. They, I'm probably, and I don't have this in my notes here either, but I am probably going to be slowing down the Groupon once some of these other platforms start to take, get traction and bringing in people. Um, the thing is that I need to be bringing in people. Again, we've talked in the past about the fact that we're trying to get into a commercial space. Well, I need to have customers in order to get into commercial space, and I need to have some consistency over several months before I want to, take and spend the money and go into a commercial space. So, anyways, but as back to the TripAdvisor, well, it's not actually TripAdvisor, but I was going in and I was messing around and just kind of exploring a little further now that I got my first customer. Well, apparently my first customer was not my first customer. Apparently there was somebody who made a reservation um, for November 2nd, and I don't remember seeing it. I went back and I did actually find it, but upon uh, further looking into it closer, it doesn't look like the person actually paid for it either, though, from what I can figure out. And I probably need to contact the support department because I think I saw something last night saying, oh, do I want to refund the customer? Which tells me that maybe they did pay for it. I did reach out and sent an email through their system. They have one of these really long, coded email addresses, so it goes through their system, which is fine. So, excuse me, these shares are great to lay back on, but it's not so great to sit forward on. So I haven't heard back from the client. I need to, I think, get the customer service involved. And the one thing that, as opposed to Groupon, where when somebody makes a reservation with Groupon, they pay for their voucher and I get paid. If they never use their voucher, I still have been paid. Well, with TripAdvisor, and this is actually probably a good thing for the consumer, is I don't get paid until they actually check in at my event. So, we hold the class, and then, they get checked in and so on and so forth. So, I am now a lot more vigilant and I'm checking that site also. I guess, like I said, my eyes just kind of glazed over. I wasn't, hadn't gotten anything. So, kind of fell away from it as putting my focus on other areas, but I'm back to doing that. So, the next thing I have on my agenda here is, okay, the studio space that we're using, which is the garage space of this house, 733 square feet. Now, in that space, I have, if you've seen maybe pictures of my studio, I actually have a like a commercial rack system. It's probably about, I don't know, 8 to 10 feet wide, and front to back is about 3 or so feet, front to back. There's 2 shelves, there's room to put more shelves on it. And that takes up space. That came with the house. The other thing I have in there is I have a workbench with a shelving underneath. That takes up space. In front of that, I have a table that I work on. That takes up space. Then, of course, I have my slab roller, my kiln, my potter's wheels, although one potter's wheel, I'm not sure if I talked about this last week, but one of the potter's wheels getting repaired because I tripped over a cord and snapped it off from the back of the wheel. That was my older one, not my newer one, thank God. So that is in the shop, and I'm waiting. Hopefully by the end of this week, I hope I get it back. I've been without the wheel for last week and this week. So there's a lot of things. Oh, and then I got racks, for that I've been storing stuff. So I have a lot of space, relatively speaking, but I have a lot of things in that space taking up a lot of room, and it's getting very, very crowded. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing, or that I've already actually done, is I already had a space of 5 by 10 that I've been storing stuff in. I'm not filling it up front to back, left to right, top to bottom, because I need to be able to get in there should I need something. But I am, so I have like a little mini aisle, stuff on the left, stuff on the right, and stuff in the back. However, this month I expanded that. I'm purchased, or I'm renting a 10 by 10, so double the space. Of course, the lady is like, "Oh, you're only getting 5 feet more." Well, 5 feet left to right, but another 10 feet, so that's another 10 times 5 is 50 square feet times, say 8 feet high. So, 50 times 8 is 400 cubic feet of space. Not that I'm going to use that much, but I have that. And perhaps what I will do is I'll get shelving units so I can store a lot of stuff, especially my molds and stuff. So actually, later today, I will be going there, and I'm going to be moving. I first of all, I have to move things from the old space, the 5 by 10, over to the 10 by 10. That has to be done by today. They gave me 48 hours. Today will be 48 hours. And then I'm going to start moving stuff out of the studio that I don't really need, particularly all of the molds, except for maybe some press molds, which I'm thinking of leaving press molds or sprig molds in the studio for people who wish to do hand building, or even for people who throw a piece. Like I just gave an example the other day. I used a little tiny press mold, which I couldn't tell what it was until after I did it. It was actually a Santa Claus. You can press that on the side of a cup and make a winter cup. So that's what I'm looking at doing with that. And I don't see it. Did I put it here on my thing? The one thing I don't see that I put on here, and I'm having a little problem seeing, but the one thing here, I just expanded it, is that we had to change, or I shouldn't say change, but we had to add a new policy. I am not a mean guy, and I don't want to be mean. Going along with this, the limited space that we have, one of the problems that we've been really blessed with having a lot of students. And with having a lot of students, we have a lot of pieces that are being fired. The average person makes between 1 and 2 pieces. We had one individual who actually made 4 pieces. Plus, the pieces that I'm making for demonstration purposes. So we have a lot of pieces. And the problem that's happening is after the student pieces are being fired, um, we do an inventory, make sure that nothing got broken or blew up in the kiln. And so far, we've not had that problem. We've had problems with a whole tray of pieces fell, but mostly they were my pieces, so I wasn't worried about it. But people, you know, after we do the inventory, then we'll send out an email to all the students who had pieces in the firing and say, okay, your pieces are ready, you know, and we'll provide a link so that people don't even have to look it up. They can schedule a time to come in and glaze their piece using a traditional glaze, you know, a electric kiln fired, or they can do a raku glaze or some other form of specialty firing. Those are our options. But most people are not coming to pick up their pieces. And it's taking up space. I have pieces and pieces and pieces just in on my my slab roller. Can't use my slab roller because all these pieces. So I have to find a way. That's by taking all these other things out of my studio. I'll start putting them on shelves. Um, I will go and I have to do a little legwork here and look up when all these people are here. One of the problems that I've been having is when somebody makes an appointment, couples, I'll have the one person's name. And when they come out, I'll meet them, but I don't have a way of keeping track of groups. So if two or more people, I need to know who is in that group and also get the email addresses for the other individual because like we had about a week or so ago, we had a group of 4 young ladies. Well, I have the email for the one person, but if the other people, you know, I want to be able to send emails to everybody who's in the group so that everybody, you know, uh, has a chance if, you know, they can come back individually or they can come back as a group to do their glazing. So our policy now is that if you have not come back or arranged to come back within at very least a month's time. So if you on the first, if you're notified that your pieces are ready, if by the next month you still have not come by or arranged a time to come by, uh, we will either dispose of, we'll crush down, or we will sell your pieces or even give them away for people who want to come in and actually do glazes. Now, the problem with that is when we do the trimming or whatever, we put names on the bottom. And as long as people are okay with that, you know, then we're okay with that. So that's kind of like a thing that I had to do because um, it's just um, because of our space limitations, and we have to actually kind of do that. Also, the other reason is once we do indeed get into a larger space, a commercial space, we're going to have, you know, we're working to have more potter's wheels, having even more students, more people working where we'll be firing. And we just, you know, it's hopefully what we're planning is it's going to go up like this. So more students, more pottery, more pieces that are fired, people have to come back. And so we have to have that now while we're still small. You know, I didn't think it would be an issue, but apparently, you know, people get busy. We understand. People might not see emails. I need to look into a way of sending text messages so that people can, get notified. Hey, we're still waiting for you to come and pick up your pieces. If they're not picked up by X date, um, we may dispose of them, or otherwise, they will no longer become available. And the hope is, we'll give people, of course, enough time. We're not going to say, if you don't come by tomorrow, no, we'll give them, at very least a week or two, once we've sent that final notice, because again, the space is very limited. So we'll see. The next thing we got here, and sorry, Facebook, I have to kind of look at my screen on the computer so that I can, I actually have this as a PDF, so I may even put that on the Facebook as well. Now, I talked briefly about the different platforms we're on. We are still looking for other platforms to market this service. One service that was just mentioned to me the other day by a marketing firm, which I'll get into in a minute, was a company called Felyx, Felyx. It's a local marketing company for businesses. And as I understand, the people who use it, like people who use Groupon, what they do is they pay for the right to use that service. So my understanding is there's no out of pocket, no out of pocket expense for us, but they're supposed to call us and actually talk more about their service sometime today. I don't know. They said that, leave the phone open. Sorry, I got bad knees and, so I can't, it is kind of difficult for me. So we're on that one. We're going to be looking at, I also signed up on trip.com, or started that process. I looked it up. It's actually a Chinese company, apparently, or at least as far as their phone number that they have listed, I think is +65 or something like that. So I looked it up, I just looked up the country code, and it is China. So, hey, I'm gonna take my, customers, if they come here, I'm not immigration, I'm not stopping people from coming here. If they come here, I accept their American dollars too. Not yen. They have to convert that to American. So anyways, and I alluded to this a minute ago. I'm starting, going to be working with a local marketing company. Actually, they're nationwide, but they have a local presence here. And so the nice thing about working with the local people is they know the local market. So we're going to start working with them. I just have to put together the funds. I don't want to just take every dollar I have and put it right into marketing. I need to develop more money. I have more money coming, from Desert Rock Pottery. We want to make sure that Desert Rock Pottery is self-sufficient. So I have to be really careful about the money I'm spending. I don't want to be coming out of pocket, because I don't really have a lot of money out of my own pocket, because I have other things that I'm doing. So we're starting to work with this marketing firm. Basically, the purpose is to, of course, increase our exposure, get brand familiarity. We want to take this time during COVID, and we're going to be hitting this hard, because other places are closed down or are very limited, but we've always remained open, and we're going to continue. We want to be at the top of the chart. I think when we were looking at it, I was pretty much still on the first page, but like the 5th after any ads. We were the 5th listing, which is still not bad, but prefer to be number 1 or number 2. So that's one thing. Also, we want, to get exposure, like not only Google, that's the big daddy, the granddaddy of them all, or as far as the powerhouse, but also the other sites, if I'm listed properly in these other search engines, that will also help our ranking. So the other thing is, now because we want to work with this company, I have to talk a minute here about the company we've been using. A few months ago, maybe about 3 months ago or so, we started working with another company, and I will tell the name. The name of the company is Ampifire, and I was really impressed with the things that they say that they do, and all the they market in many different areas, blogs and news outlets, and they'll put together a video and all this kind of stuff. There's a couple problems. The first one, which I was right off the bat, I was kind of a little hesitant, is that they're not even in this country. They're actually in the UK. And I don't have any problem with people from the UK, but the problem is that if you have a question, first of all, you have time zone differences. They're 7 hours ahead of us. If I wanted to go stop by their office, I can't, unless I'm flying to the UK, which I'm not going to do. But then, so basically you pay, I went through this little orientation or whatever, sales pitch thing for like an hour and a half or whatever it was. And there was another person on the call as well. And, it is all well and great. And, the things are all only well and great if they do what they say. And one of the things that I asked is, okay, well, if I need to pause payments coming out, because it was X amount of dollars every month. I said, well, if I need to pause it, because what you pay for is you get like credits, and you can spend those credits however often you want, or you can buy more, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not even ashamed to say it was like $500 a month. They gave a discount, but $500 a month. They gave a special promo or something, a promotion. And so after the first month of buying it, I wanted to pause it because that's what I was told I can do. And well, then I find out, no, you can't pause it. If you pause it, you don't lose the credits you've already paid for, but if you decide to renew it, you may not get that same promotion, or you may be paying a lot more. Well, okay, I'm still gonna pause it, or I'm still, I basically not even pausing it. You basically stop the payments. So I didn't like that. Then what happened is, okay, so I start my first amp, my first marketing thing. And I'm going to let them create it for me because they're supposed to be the experts. So I'm like, okay, start this. Okay. And I'm expecting this is something that should be done, maybe faulty on my part. It should be done within like a week or so's time. Clearly I have no idea because I've never done this before. Well, when you go into the back office and all, it says it's pending. And there's next to the word pending, it says that it has, there's a little question mark. You click on that and it has this little pop up and it says, okay, your job basically is waiting to be given to, somebody, the creator who's going to do all this work for you. And if it's not done by such and such a date, which is about a month or so out, contact our customer support. Well, I waited that amount of time, and still, it took over a month just to have it assigned, and I had to contact customer support. I shouldn't have to tell you folks what to do. And then, then it finally got done, I think maybe a week later. But I imagine it probably wouldn't have gotten done unless I would have reached out and had to say, hey, folks. And I think, there was, oh, we're hiring more people. You know what? I don't want to hear your excuses. Honestly, you're supposed to be doing this. So this is another problem. Then after they did this, I was like, okay, they finally got it done and promoted it. So I waited a few days and I started checking. And true to their word, it is posted in a lot of different places. If you do a search on Google, I use Google. If you do a search on Google, I haven't actually checked on Yahoo. I should do that. You'll see a lot of things. Some stuff that's that I've done, some stuff that they've done. But you can tell it was kind of, once they wrote the narrative, it was kind of cookie cutter. They posted the same thing without any deviation that I could notice. But what I did notice, and this is what really kind of upset me, is that, let's see, we got a few more minutes. When they did, it was actually on the podcast. I think I put a video. Their video was the same thing, but I think it's on the third page of the results for just doing a thing for Desert Rock Pottery. It was, I would have expected to have a live person doing the recording, or at least the voiceover. No, that's not what they did. They have a computer generated system doing the VO, the voiceover. And if that wasn't bad enough, the VO was mispronouncing even simple words. I'm not talking about really long words. I'm talking about simple words. And actually, the page was ubcnewsworld.podbean. So if you see that, if you go to the third page on Google results, I think it's on the third page for me at least. If you do a search for Desert Rock Pottery, go to the third page and you find something, ubc-phoenix.pottery-and-ceramics-store-offers-artistic. They could not pronounce the word artistic. Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. It hurt me to listen to it. And the thing is that it's perception. If this is what your stuff sounds like, it's terrible, and I was not happy. In fact, I still need to write a letter to them saying I am not happy with this at all. You need to redo this. So I've done, I think I had enough to do like 3 of these amps, 3 of these marketing. I'm on my second one. And again, I'm still waiting. I posted the second amp which on October 19th. Today is November 11th. And I have to, it's still in pending status. I just checked again this morning. And I still have to wait until November 15th, 4 more days, which is Sunday, in order to contact support. So this is why I'm looking at going with this other company. It's local. Okay. So even if you are, from Amsterdam and you're searching, you're going to be coming to Phoenix and you're looking for what is to be done in Phoenix. You do Phoenix, pottery classes or something. It will still show up because it's looking in the local market. At least that's my understanding of it. So really, really, really disappointed with Ampifire. I understand, sometimes with growth, you have to hire more people and that causes problems. We all make mistakes, but it's, I won't go back with them because, I can't afford $500 a month or, even $500 a quarter and have bad results. And the video and audio, the printed word was fine, but for as good as that was, the audio and video was terrible and detracted from it. So the last thing that I have on my agenda today, and I got to get this finished here, we really need to get to 1,000 followers on our YouTube channel, which is Desert Rock Pottery. Because as much as I'd like to be doing live broadcasts on YouTube, I can't without having having at least 1,000 followers. So I am truly asking everybody, please, please, please like and subscribe to our channel and share our channel with other people, please, please, because it is so important. Once we can get to at least 1,000 people, we're like less than 100, I think less than 50. Once we can get to 1,000 people, folks, we can do live broadcasts on there. I like that platform better than even better than Facebook or Zoom. The reason why we have the Zoom is the potential for interactivity, but it's just we need to get there, folks. Come on, I plead with you, support your local potter, support your local pot dealer. I love that one. I'm gonna get that T-shirt. Support your local pot dealer. Well, I tell that to some people that never heard that, and it's actually an old tongue-in-cheek joke. They actually have T-shirts that say that. That's another thing in the future. I want to start getting, designing and getting some T-shirts printed out for Desert Rock Pottery. That's another marketing thing, more awareness thing. But if I get 100 people in the Phoenix market wearing my T-shirts, it's a good thing. So that's about it. Being that we have no guests, and normally is when we would open up to Q&A, but we have no people on either platform here today. So if you like this, please, again, like and subscribe on Facebook. Please like this page, share this with the people. We really want to become larger and growing into a business that's going to last even beyond my own lifetime. That those are the forward-thinking things that we have for the next 50 years. Not just, mom and pop that is just going to be here. And if I can't work anymore, it will close down. I want it to go on and hire people not only to teach, but also to run this business. So this has been John with Desert Rock Pottery. Thanking you all for coming in here. I'm going to have to pick up this phone because I can't end it, but now you get to see me from the other side. So anyways, we are going to close this off today. We do this on a weekly basis every Wednesday, 10 a.m. And so I will be putting on Facebook also future events going forward. So this has been John from Desert Rock Pottery saying goodbye.